John likes tech and lives in Indiana, you know. Kevin likes the Dodgers and talks on the radio. John plays games on Xbox and on his Nintendo, while Kevin runs around LA with his mustachio. It's the Lack of Genius podcast, in your ear holes at last. They don't know they're Mars from Venus, that's why it's the Lack of Genius podcast. We have two firsts today, John. Two firsts.
I know.
Do you know what they are?
I know one of them. I don't know if I know the other one. I mean, I know one is that this is the first episode where we have a reoccurring guest.
Yeah, this is our first returning guest. Yep, that's it. And we'll introduce him in just a second. The other first is that, correct me if I'm wrong, John, that was the first time we've had a Mario dancing to the theme song as it played.
Probably. that we know of.
That's probably accurate. We're welcoming back Ben Magnet. And this is, I should have this ready. Ben Magnet, welcome back. Yeah, Ben Magnet. Ben,
I feel that every time I have to come on, I have to do some sort of Lack of Genius first now. Because because I was like, I'm pretty sure they haven't had anyone with the Mario thing. But also I was thinking, have they had another reoccurring guest on the show? I'm not 100% sure.
This is it. The closest we had our logo designer, Jeff McAvoy. He came on for a special tidy up section and then came on as a guest. But I'm not trying to, if Jeff, if you're listening, I'm not trying to sell you short, but I think he would concede that, yeah, Ben Magnet's the first official 2-time guest. So well done, my friend.
If this was a TV show, you would then get the special credits of reoccurring character.
Totally. Ooh. Yes. Ben came on last time to quiz us about retro video games in general. And we talked even then about having you back. And here we are today. We're doing, well, why don't you tell us what you're quizzing us on there, Ben?
Today, my quiz is on Let's Go. It's me, Mario. Super Mario Brothers, the video games, the classic video games, the most iconic video game character ever known, and also the one that the internet is in an uproar now because Chris Pratt is voicing him in the upcoming Mario film that recently just got pushed back. So it's not coming out this year; it's coming out next year now.
Oh, is that what the internet's reeling about, or is it because of Chris Pratt?
The internet's not reeling about it being pushed back. The internet was still kind of reeling that Chris Pratt's still the voice of Mario. So
is it because he's not Italian? Like, what do they picture? What does the internet picture?
Well, the internet, internet and also fans, i.e. myself included, were kind of a little iffy on it because Charles Martinet. Now, this is not a question on the quiz, BT Doug, so we can totally talk about this. Charles Martinet is has been the voice of Mario for well over 20 plus years.
Oh,
and he has been like the set voice of Mario. Now, of course, those who grew up in the 80s and the early 90s will say, but wait, the other people have voiced Mario. There's the Microsoft DOS games Mario was missing, or Mario's Hotel, where it's a different voice actor. And then you have, of course, the Super Mario Brothers Super Show, which was a cartoon that aired in the 80s that had a different voice actor for Mario.
Gotcha.
And so, but the thing is, Martinet has been like the iconic voice from Mario, like one of his first, it's not his very first, but one of his first major roles was him voicing Mario in, of course, Super Mario 64. Because when you turn that game on and you plug into the car, you plug in the system, you turn the power on, and you see the giant Mario head, or you see Diddy, let's go, and it's been him, and people have been imitating him, and he's been the voice of Mario for over 20 plus years. So that's one of the reasons why it's like you have this super established voice actor already who's done the voice for eons, and then you get Chris Pratt.
Yeah. And it's interesting because I could get the argument on either side. Of course, it's Hollywood. They're going to get a big name to play the main character. You know, it's like kind of inevitable. But I don't know, I could get as a true fan really wanting to see the real thing and hear the real thing. And that could be upsetting. Yeah.
I mean, good news is Martinet is in the film. He does have a credit and he does have multiple voice roles. It's just he's not the voice role he has been known as for his entire career. So.
Yeah. Well, you said it. You said it at the top of your intro that Mario is not just the most iconic video game character of all time, but one of the most recognizable just characters worldwide. You know, I think whether you are into video games or not, you know who Mario is. I mean, we were talking, not to bring it back to my mustache, but we were talking about my mustache. I can't tell you how many times I get people saying, "Oh, Mario," or Luigi. I think I'm more of a Luigi, to be completely honest. But yeah, this is an iconic character. So when you said, "Can I do a quiz on Mario?" I was like, "Heck yes, you can," because that's something everyone's gonna want to learn a little something about, whether they're into it or not. You know, whether they're into video games or not.
Although
So-
I'm pretty sure some of my friends, when they do listen to this, they're like, how come you did a Mario quiz and not a Sonic the Hedgehog quiz? Because they know I'm a huge Sonic the Hedgehog fan. Like, Sonic got me into video games, but Mario did help me stay. So I do have a soft spot in my heart for the Mario franchise, but Sonic the Hedgehog, that's where I really cut my teeth on video games.
I think we've already planted the seed that you'll probably be our first 3-time guest, because I think we're going to have you come on and do a Sonic the Hedgehog quiz for us as well. Let's do a quick tidy up, and then we'll get into our quiz time. All right,
Let's do it.
Tidy up before we go any further with the show. Tidy up before we go fix our mistakes tonight. I wanna get it right. Tidy up.
this is one of the first times, or it's been a while since John and I did no discussion about tidy up beforehand, so we're just going to see what happens. I actually do have a tidy up. I don't know if you have any, John, or Ben, for if you have anything in your life in general that you want to tidy up. This is the place to do it.
Ignore the giant mess behind me. That's luckily the camera can't see, but there's a giant mess behind me. Yeah.
I should make a whole tidy up playlist so you can listen to it while you're literally tidying up your house.
Probably.
The only tidy up I had last week, we did an episode on Raffi and Sharon Lois and Bram. Did you grow up on either of these singers, Ben?
I had no idea what you guys were talking about. While
You didn't know either of them.
Not a bloody clue. I think the only thing about Raffi that I know is I saw a screenshot of him playing with Yo-Yo Ma during the pandemic.
Yes. Yep.
I was when you guys were talking about like childhood singers, I was trying to think if I remember any, but the only singer or band that came to my brain was the Beatles.
Oh, how funny! Well, there's probably
they grew up on.
Yeah, there's probably a lot of people who share that, whose parents listen to Beatles, and it's family friendly enough and poppy enough and whatever. And you know what I was just thinking right now is it's interesting because I guess this is how it is in general, but the internet is so full of all kinds of children's music and songs and everything that I don't know if kids are going to be able to say, I grew up on this singer, I guess this generation, this little baby generation grew up on Baby Shark, and I don't know. It's very interesting, but not to blindside you with a correction, John, but I did look up Skidamarink, and I discovered it was not originally written by Sharon Lois and Bram. Which it's so weird to me that jumped out at me because I maybe it's because we sang it at campfires that sort of it's sort of like would we sing? It was written way back in 1910, the first version. It was originally written by Felix F. Feist, Triple F, Felix F. Feist. He did the lyrics, and Alpian Tadassi did the music. It was for a Charles Dillingham Broadway production of The Echo. I don't know in what context it was in. And the other funny thing about the song Skidamarink is that it's spelled so many different ways. In fact, Sharon Lois and Bram spell it like the word skin, skinamarinky dinky dink. But I've always heard it as skid, like skid marks in your underwear, skidamarinky dinky dink. But either way, it is very interesting because Raffi, much the same. He had Down by the Bay was one of his biggest songs, but it's not actually his song. It's just what's it called when something isn't copyrighted anymore? It's free
Public domain.
Public domain. Thank you. Yeah. So it's just a public domain song, so anyone can kind of sing it and do their versions of it, and they just did it better than anyone else and became known for it. So there you go. That's tidied up, right?
Yeah, I guess I do have a tidy up as well.
All right.
For those that saw the new project that Kevin and I are doing on YouTube, I appreciate all the support on that one and the people that have reached out and everything. So
yeah, did you want to talk briefly about what that project is, just to give it a quick little plug?
Yeah, sure. So if you go to YouTube and watch the video, it'll say this, but week and a half ago, I was diagnosed with diabetes, and so this new project is me going through all that and getting healthier and figuring it all out, and Kevin's doing it with me in a fashion. So we're both attempting to get healthier and all that, and so it's just a new project. It's not gonna have a podcast or anything with it. It's just a video series on YouTube. So
So if you want to follow along, we recorded the other day a little check-in that'll probably be live soon, and just checking in on general health. And I think it's important. John is, that's a tough diagnosis to get, and I'm trying to do what I can to support you. But I really admire that you're doing this project, John, because it's vulnerable and putting yourself out there, and I think that's where strength comes from, is when you put yourself out there in ways like that. And B, I think it could really inspire other people, myself included, to make changes in our lives and to live a healthier life. So if you feel like supporting, it's on our YouTube page, and we'll check in every now and then about it here as well. Yeah. So, all right, cool. We're tidied up. I think it's time to do some quiz time. Yeah,
let's do it.
Sounds good.
Let's do it.
It's time to take a quiz or two, like a genius podcast doing this for you. You may fail, but it ain't no lie, baby, it's quiz time. Don't really want this quiz to be tough, I just wanna pass one cause I failed enough. It might sound crazy, but it ain't no lie, baby, it's quiz time.
We were talking on the pre-show about Ben hearing that song in real life, the NSYNC version.
I was playing it on our way to Fanny's birthday dinner. While I was blasting in the car, the lyrics for your jingle for It's Quiz Time were playing in my brain. And I'm like, that's not the lyrics to NSYNC's Bye Bye Bye, Ben, get it right. Me being a 90s baby who grew up listening to NSYNC and Bye 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 on Radio Disney all the bloody time. It's like, it strikes a chord. It strikes a chord, my dude. You got it right.
Thanks, man. Yeah, for me, it was TRL. Every day on TRL, I was hearing that song. So I'm glad it can live on forever in our podcast and get us transition us once a week into our quiz. So Ben has already kind of introed what he's doing, but I'll basically hand the reins off to you here, and you can jump into the quiz when you're ready.
Well, I may not be the Lord of the Long Verbs like a certain other guest, which I have to say I freaking love that name when I listened to it the first time, and every time she posts something, I always say Lord of the Long Verbs. But I gave myself this own title of Librarian of the Pixels, if you will.
All right, so this is Alyssa, our opera singer, who orders these creepy looking Furbies that are long and demented, and she gave herself the title Lord of the Long Verbs. And now I love it. We have self-proclaimed titles, Librarian of the Pixels. That is strong, man. We need to get you a badge.
I would like that. Of course, I'd be in like this great little robe or something, but that's going off the rails. We are talking about Super Mario Brothers. So obviously, just like retro gaming quiz that I did last time, Mario has 35 years of extensive history, extensive trivia. Don't worry, I was able to make a quiz that was 5 questions long, and there really isn't a huge, it's kind of like a potpourri of questions, but we are going to be talking about, it is more focused on the earlier games. So the NES titles.
Okay.
Just like other characters, 35 years, it's a very, very long time to be around. So there is still so much trivia. Like if you were to go onto YouTube and look up Did You Know Gaming, which is a really good video game trivia show, and you go Did You Know Gaming Mario, they have a playlist of about, last time I checked, I was watching some of them last night to help me make this quiz. There's about 50 videos, and each one is about 10 minutes long, give or take. Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah, I was gonna say if we wanted to make this a long form podcast, we could just let you go and just let's go. It's gonna be a 4-hour podcast, but that's fine. We're gonna learn a lot about Mario. Oh, we did limit you to 5 questions.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like Kevin, the Pixel Librarian, just gave a hint for when he comes on next time for Sonic.
Yeah,
and that we just need to go watch that now, and then that way he can't say we cheated if we watch it right before he comes back.
You're right. We watch the movie now. Maybe we dig into some of the games, and then when he comes back with a Sonic quiz, we'll be like, "Oh, that was months ago. We weren't cheating."
I wasn't gonna say you're cheating. I mean, I would say cheating if you're like scrolling through Google while we're doing the quiz. So.
Yeah.
No, that's studying what your guys are saying. That's
a good point. That's a good point. We'll studying for quiz time.
So yes, it is all about Super Mario Bros, the video game specifically. So I'm not going to throw any oddball questions about, say, the films or the film. The only one that's out starring
John Leguizamo and
and
the dude from Roger Rabbit.
Why am I forgetting his name?
Bob Hoskins. Bob Hoskins. It's been forever since I've seen that. I have a DVD copy, but not a DVD player, so I have yet to watch it on DVD.
It's one of my favorites.
I saw that once, and I've been trying to get the guys to do a commentary on that for the longest time. But
Oh my gosh.
So this one might be a bit of a softball, especially for John, because I know in the intro he plays Nintendo, but maybe you might know this too, Kevin. So question number 1 on my Mario quiz. Let's go.
Let's go.
What game did Mario first appear in? Is it A, Donkey Kong, B, Mario Bros, C, Super Mario Bros, or D, none of the above?
I immediately want to say A, but then part of me is like, I think D, because I don't think Donkey Kong is what it was originally called.
Oh, you're getting technical. You're getting
Yeah.
technical. See, now, yeah, Donkey Kong is what came to my mind, which I would understand could be a trick question if people don't know. Because Mario's the guy avoiding the barrels, jumping over the barrels, right?
Yeah.
Well, but yeah, is it because it has a different name? I like this, John. What are you going to do?
I think I'm going to go with D.
Now, is this just sort of like a memory you have? Like, I don't think it was called Donkey Kong. I think it was called something else.
No, it's, I follow Will Wheaton on Instagram.
Oh.
And he actually has some old arcade cabinets. I don't know if they're old, but he's got some arcade cabinets that he posts about, and trying to think. And I know Donkey Kong is one of them that he does, but I feel like he said there was something before it, and I can't think of what it was. But I'm just going with D.
Yeah, I was between Donkey Kong and none of the above for sure, but I'm going to choose Donkey Kong, and we'll see if either of us get some points here.
Well, one of you is getting a point, and the winner is Kevin.
Woo, Donkey Kong. Sorry, John.
Yes. 1981, the original. My
Whoa.
t-shirt. The t-shirt I'm wearing. The original, 1981.
He's got a pixelated version of Mario on it from the original Super Mario, I think.
Yes. So actually, no, this is from Donkey Kong.
Oh, that's from Donkey Kong. Yeah, it's way
this is from
pixelated.
Donkey
Yeah.
Kong. So, John, you were kind of right, because the Donkey Kong cabinets were technically radar scope before a lot of them became Donkey Kong cabinets. Because when Nintendo was bringing Donkey Kong over from Japan to the United States, they were thinking, oh, let's put a space shooter game, but there was a bunch of space shooter games out at the time, so they redid it for Donkey Kong. And in the game, Mario was originally called Jumpman.
That's what it was.
That's what they call Michael Jordan now, right? Isn't that like Drake has a song called Jumpman, and that's what they call the logo of Michael Jordan jumping through the air. I'm pretty positive. That's hilarious.
And Mario Bros, there is a Mario Bros arcade game that came out in 1983, which you can play, like you can play that sucker on like all the Super Mario Game Boy Advance games that came out. They have a version of the Mario Bros arcade game that's an upgraded version. You can play it on Nintendo Switch Online service, I believe, right now. But yes, the original Donkey Kong arcade cabinet was Mario's first ever appearance in a video game.
First called Jumpman. That's the fact that's sticking with me right now. That's unbelievable. Because I just did a quick search of Jumpman, and yeah, that's what they call the Nike logo of Jordan. But there's also some other game called Jumpman. I'm like, Mario had it first, bros. Mario had it first. That's great.
Yeah, yes, he was called Jumpman, but it wasn't officially that.
Yeah.
And then it was like one of the things that it was like something called or something that Miyamoto did throughout the offices. But yes, Mario's first ever video game appearance was in 1981's Donkey Kong.
Cool, man. All right. Well, that puts me at 1 for 1. John, 0 for 1. I think I needed that head start. So we'll see. Let's see how the rest of this quiz goes.
All right. Question number 2. What was the reason why North American gamers got a different version of Super Mario Brothers 2? Option A, the North American NES systems didn't have the disk drive needed to play the game. B, the game was too big for cartridges at the time. C, Nintendo of America thought the game was too easy. Or D, Nintendo of America thought the game was too hard.
Wow. Great choices, man. I could see any of these being legitimate reasons.
Yeah, I had fun with that one.
What was the reason North American gamers got a different version of Super Mario Brothers 2? And can I ask clarification? Is that just different than Japan, different than the rest of the world?
So here in North America, our version of Super Mario Bros. 2 is different from the actual Super Mario 2 that came out in Japan first.
Gotcha.
Because they eventually got their version. They call it Super Mario Bros. USA. But there is a reason as to why we here in North America got a different version of it.
Gotcha. You have any thoughts, John?
I'm going to think they thought it was too hard.
That's D. They thought Nintendo America thought the game was too hard. So in this, let me just make sure I understand, John. If you're choosing that one, you're saying that this version that they made in Japan, the original version was too hard, so they then made an easier version for North America, right? That's the logic.
I'm saying they thought it was too hard, not that it necessarily was.
Yeah, got it. And so
my thinking is, things like this were out in Japan before they were here in the U.S., like just platform games like Mario and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so they probably thought, well, it's still new to the U.S. market. They're not as advanced with it as we are.
Interesting.
So they may have dumbed it down to make it more palatable for general public.
Yeah, exactly. You want to sell more copies. And what's interesting is the logic could be used on the opposite of the game was too easy. Like if everyone was passing it real fast, they want people to I don't know. They want people to invest in the game. I'm just going to choose opposite of you, John. I'm going to choose C and say that the game was too easy just to make this fun. We'll just go back and forth like this. All right. What do we got, Ben?
All right. So reverse last time. John got right. Kevin got wrong. We're
John,
tied.
good job. All right.
Yes. So Super Mario Bros. 2, which eventually would come to America's shores, but it would come out as Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels. Now, when Miyamoto was making a direct sequel to Super Mario Bros., he was making it with the gamers in mind who have completely mastered the original version of the game. And of course, when Nintendo of America got a copy of it, they thought it was way too difficult for American gamers. There's a lot of times where where Japan makes something great, but then us Americans were kind of skittish about it because we were also very scared that people were going to think it was too difficult and then we weren't going to enjoy it. And then, of course, we were going to lead to another video game crash, which thankfully never happened. Yes, so Nintendo of America thought the game was way too hard, so they had another game that was in development called Doki Doki Panic, which was in collaboration with the Fujifilm or TV Fuji in Japan. So they reskinned the characters where you get to play as Mario, Luigi, Princess Toadstool, Peach, and Toad. And so they reskinned that, put it here in America, and while it still did very well, eventually they realized, American gamers probably would have enjoyed the real Super Mario Bros. 2, which was out on the Nintendo Disk System in Japan. And we finally got it with Super Mario Bros. All-Stars, which is updated version of the original 3 games plus the Lost Levels.
Oh, that's so cool. And the Lost Levels, again, were what Japan originally had created for Super Mario 2. And this explains so much because growing up, and I'm sure this is probably everybody knows, but Super Mario 2 was always so different than any of the other games. There's just a different feel about it. And now it makes sense. It was literally supposed to be Doki Doki Hoorah or whatever.
Doki Doki Panic, yeah. Japan did get to play that version. Like, if you look in the Mario Encyclopedia, it did get released in Japan as Super Mario USA.
Okay.
To differentiate between the two, because, of course, if you're in Japan, you say Super Mario Bros. 2, they think the one that's super hard. But, of course, you can play it on, you can play the Lost Levels, which is what we call it here in America, on a bunch of systems, including this one, which is the Super Mario Brothers Game & Watch that came out a few years ago in celebration of Mario's 35th anniversary.
Oh, that's so cool. It looks like a little original Nintendo handle, just a little bit taller, and it's got a screen in the middle of it. That's awesome.
These Game & Watch systems predate the Game Boy.
Do they really?
They do.
Wow.
Think Tiger LCD screens, but not as annoying.
Wow, but so they obviously just were they just not marketed as well as Game Boys, or they just didn't have the...
Oh, they were, they didn't have like the oomph as Game Boys. Gunpei, this is a side tangent, sorry. Gunpei Yokoi, who made the Game & Watches and eventually the Game Boy, he developed the Game & Watch because it was supposed to be for people who were taking the trains, so that way they'd have a little fun game to play, but also they would have a watch. So it's like,
smart.
Hey, yes, I have a high score on Ball, which was the first Game & Watch game ever made, but also they could check to see what time it was.
Yeah. Wow. Now we have cellular telephones to do that for us now.
That's why it's called the Game & Watch.
That's so clever. Good, man. Dude, all right, man. I want to play a John knowledge bomb drop for you, but you're not John, you're Ben.
But yeah, I have played the Lost Levels. The first time I played it was on my Game & Watch, and that is hard.
It is hard. So they were right.
Yeah, the first mushroom you see is actually a poison mushroom, and it kills you one hit.
Oh my gosh, the very first one. They didn't even ease you into it.
But yeah, so that is the reason why our Super Mario Bros. Was different than the original Super Mario Bros.
Super interesting, man. That's so cool. Thanks for teaching us that. Well, all right. Yep. So yeah, you're right. We're tied up now. We're each 1 for 2.
Now this one's a little bit easier, but it's a 50-50 true or false question, but it might throw some of you off. As I grin evilly and stroke my beard. The librarian of pixels has an evil side. Okay, true or false? The Mario Brothers arcade game was ported to the Atari 2600.
John, okay, let me just ask this question. Ported meaning like it transferred over, like
it was made for.
That's okay. The Mario Brothers arcade game was ported to, so then it was made for the Atari 2600. Okay. I don't know, man. John, what are your thoughts?
I'm thinking true, mainly because Atari was the one that made a lot of the arcade cabinets back in the day.
Oh, interesting. Mm-hmm.
So it's a good chance that, it was an Atari cabinet that the arcade game was on. So if that was the case, then it probably already kind of ran on an Atari system, so it wouldn't have been that hard to get it to run on the 2600.
Interesting. That logic makes sense, John. It does. I don't have any real logic to go off of, except that, like, well, no, why would Mario be on Atari? So I should choose false. But it seems like if it was a question, then there's got to be something to it. I don't know. I'm gonna choose true as well. You said you're choosing true, right, John?
Yeah.
All right, we're both choosing true.
Oh, the tie continues. You're both correct.
All right.
Yes. The original arcade game was ported to the Atari 2600. Now, of course, when you hear a Mario game, you think, oh, it should have been a Nintendo-made arcade cabinet. Why is Mario or any Nintendo property showing up on a system other than Nintendo? The arcade game came out in 1983, and this game was made for the Atari 2600, or was a version of it was made for the Atari 2600 the exact same year. Of course, as we know, the video game crash here in North America happened in 1983, so of course sales plummeted, which means there are cartridges of Mario Bros. As well as Donkey Kong for the Atari and even for the Intellivision out there. Problem is, those games suck.
Oh, really?
They are. This is the same thing that happened with Pac-Man. Gamers went to the arcades. They saw these amazing graphics because arcade cabinets at the time were much stronger and much more powerful. They had more processing power. They were able to display better graphics. Because if you look at a 1-to-1 screenshot of Mario Bros. Next to the Atari 2600 version next to the arcade cabinet, you would think they're completely different games. Because the Atari 2600 wasn't nearly as powerful to give the level of detail and the level of gameplay that the arcade version had. But it is true, there are Nintendo games on Atari systems. They just kind of sweep that under the rug because, it was during the era where things got bad and Nintendo they didn't have a strong foothold in North America just yet. That would come in 1985 with the release of the Nintendo Entertainment System, and we all know where that went.
Kablamo, but in a good way.
Oh yeah, practically saved the console market here in the United States.
But yeah, that's super interesting. I would never guess that.
But yeah. Wow.
All right.
This is good. The tie continues.
I know, 2 for 3. Gonna come down to the wire, maybe.
Ooh, this is good. Alrighty. We'll hope you're ready for this one, gentlemen. Out of all the Mario games, including Mario Party, including Mario Kart, which title currently holds the crown of most sold copies worldwide?
Worldwide.
Is it A, Super Mario Brothers, B, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, C, Super Mario World, or D, Super Mario 64?
Wow.
I'm thinking Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Just because Mario Kart is so kind of widely loved.
There's that. I mean, the Switch has sold fantastically. I think it's sold more than the Wii has, as well as the NES and Super NES and GameCube and 64.
The interesting thing about this question is you might think, we might look at choice A of Super Mario Brothers for the NES. It's the oldest. It's been around the longest, so it's probably sold the most. And so you could almost argue the same for Super Mario World. But it's not like those things are selling today. So and there's probably a much, much bigger audience for video games now. John might be right, man. And Super Mario 64, that was such a huge deal with the And I don't know a lot about Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I don't know, man. John, you make a good point. What are we tied? It's hard because I kind of want to choose the Mario Kart, but I feel like that's less fun. But we'll still be tied going into the last question if I choose it. I'm gonna choose Mario Kart. I'm gonna choose it.
You can both go with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe?
Yep.
The tie continues on, my friends. It is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Nice job, John.
Man, that was fun. So if you go ahead and Google best-selling Mario game, there is a website that will pop up and say the answer is actually Super Mario Bros. The original NES cartridge clocking it at 40.24 million units.
Wow.
However, that website has not been updated since January. It was updated last time in 2020.
Oh.
If you go to nintendo.fandom.com and you go, it's essentially a Nintendo wiki site, and look at a list of best-selling Mario games, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is currently the number one selling Mario game ever, sitting at 43.35 million copies, with the original Super Mario Bros. Clocking it at 40.24.
Wow. I'm surprised the original was as high as it is. It has sold a lot of units from even being as old as it is.
I mean, yes, it is as far as I know, this is just cartridges sold in its heyday, but the numbers could be inflated because of digital releases, and re-releases. I don't know if they also clock in the millions sold for, like, say, the Game & Watches or whatever. But yes, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, this game for the Nintendo Switch, is the number one selling game. And this is technically a remaster of Mario Kart 8 for the Wii, or for the Wii U, I should say, which those numbers were dismal. There was like 8 million copies sold of Mario Kart 8 for the Wii U, and then it instantly jumps to 43.35, which just tells you volumes on how badly the Wii U did compared to the Nintendo Switch.
Wow, that's amazing. And would you say that it has something to, I mean, obviously Mario is a big selling point in that brand, but I mean, I feel like Mario Kart is that, like, I am an example of this. I'm not a gamer. I freaking love Mario Kart. I love me some Mario Kart, man. It makes sense to, I think, non-gamer games, and probably is still fun heads. I mean, not non-gamer minds, and probably is still fun for gamers, right? Is that kind of the draw?
Yeah, and even now, just a few months ago, Nintendo had a direct and they announced that they were adding DLC to Mario Kart 8. Because the thing about Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which was already a really good selling point, is that this game had all the DLC that came out for the Wii U version. All the DLC, because there was a DLC pack with Mercedes-Benz where you can drive Mercedes-Benz cars. They had extra characters like Link from The Legend of Zelda,
I just saw
Isabelle from Animal Crossing, and the Inkling from Splatoon. You can race as those characters. Yeah. And of course, it added a bunch of new tracks. So in the base game, there are 48 tracks, which this new DLC that just came out, they're going to launch it in waves. Once it's completed in around 2023, there will be 48 brand new tracks to play in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Wow.
So they essentially doubled the tracks to make it just under 100 tracks to race.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
So of course, numbers for Mario Kart 8 went back up because they're going to be remastering tracks from all the games in the Mario Kart series. I played the first two cups. The first two cups are really fun, and it's just the fact that we have more tracks to race in Mario Kart means that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is probably going to be it's going to be our one and only Mario Kart for a good long while.
Oh yeah.
This is on the Switch, right? You said
this is on the Switch. Yes.
Now I want to get a Switch because I am craving some Mario Kart right now. Hearing you talk about it, I'm like, oh my god, I want to play.
I was talking with my friends and I was like, man, I would like to hear Mario Kart 9 be announced this year. Just announced, not released, just announced this year. And then they come out was like, hey, we're adding 48 new tracks to Mario Kart 8. I'm like, never mind, I'm good. I don't need that. I don't need Mario Kart 9 because this is the quintessential as of right now. This is the quintessential Mario Kart game. Yeah, if you're a huge Mario Kart fan, this is a good time. This is a good time.
I'm gonna get me on some Rainbow Road right now. Oh, that sounds so fun.
Which one?
Yeah, which one?
All of them. Yeah, are there a bunch on there? Are they have all the original versions?
Yeah, they have the N64 version. They have the SNES version. They have, of course, the Mario Kart 8 version. And we all know there's going to be more Rainbow Roads added because, I mean, how can you not? And that because, as we all know, that's the track that ruins friendships.
Ruined friendships.
When someone picks Rainbow Road, everyone just stares. It's like daggers.
Why?
It's like, how dare you?
Man, we need to do a whole episode on Mario Kart now. I'm worked up now.
Like I said, there could be so many different, like we can do an episode on Mario Kart, we can do an episode on Mario Party, we can how many times I yelled at people in Mario Party for stealing my star. Fanny.
Is that question 5? How many times have I yelled at?
No, it's not question 5. But speaking of question 5, as we're talking on a random about Mario Kart 8,
do it.
What was Miyamoto going to name Mario originally? And no, it's not Jumpman.
I was gonna say, where's Jumpman?
Originally, Miyamoto was going to name Mario A, Mr. Video, B, Mr. Game, Osan for C, or D, Luigi.
Is there any chance you know this, John? Just if you know it, don't say it. But you don't know this factually?
I feel like it's something I've known in the past.
Okay.
But I can't say I do.
These are great choices, by the way, because look, when I see A and B as Mr. Video and Mr. Game, like when I hear those by themselves, like Mr. Game, when I hear that by itself, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. But then I'm also like, okay, did Ben Magnet just throw Mr. in front of the words video and game because we're doing this about video games? But it also seems like it could be real. Osan seems like there could be a story there, naming it after someone maybe. And Luigi obviously is Mario's brother, who like would be interesting if that was the original name for it. I'm actually super interested because this is created by a Japanese person in Japan, and yet they're Italian names. That's an interesting thing to me as well. That's why I wonder if it's not Luigi. Are you leaning towards something, John? Don't say it yet. Don't say it.
Yeah, I am.
Oh, dang, you're leaning towards something. Because I don't know if
I'm drunk with power right now.
I know,
so
because
good.
I am leaning towards, I think I know what I'm going to pick. Should we say what we're going to pick on the count of 3?
Sure.
Count us down.
3, 2, 1.
Osan.
D. Luigi.
Oh, all right. All right. I'm picking C, Osan. And I'm hung up because I'm like, what if it is Mr. Video or Mr. Game? I feel bad ignoring those. But yeah, okay.
You gentlemen locking it in?
We're locking it in.
Yep.
Oh, man.
Right, is one of us right?
No, the tie continues.
We both missed it. Oh my god.
Oh, has there ever been a tie on Lack and Genius before?
There has, yeah, there
Okay.
has. There definitely has. But this, I thought for sure one of us was going to win this one. It was either Mr. Video or Mr. Game.
It was Mr. Video.
That's
It was
fantastic.
So before, when they were making Donkey Kong, Miyamoto wanted to call Mario Mr. Video as kind of like Mr. Video Game because he was going to name this character for all the games he was going to make in the future.
Uh-huh.
And Osan is there because they were referring to Mario as Osan, which is Japanese. The very loose translation of Osan is essentially middle-aged man.
What's more
Mario
exciting than a middle-aged man, right?
In the cabinet art for Donkey Kong, he looked like a middle-aged guy, so they just call him a middle-aged man.
Got it.
And of course, I threw the Luigi one in there just to throw you guys off. But Luigi is a playoff of Ruigi, which is the Japanese name for Luigi. And because there's already a Luigi and they're both Italian, it just made sense.
Yeah.
I got all this information from Did You Know Gaming Super Mario Bros. Part 5. And it's the very beginning of the episode where they explain on how Mario got his name. And the very first sentence is, did you know what Mario's name was originally? And no, it's not Jumpman either. It was going to originally be Mr. Video.
It's not Jumpman and it's not middle-aged man.
Nope. But now the internet has kind of adopted Jumpman as Mario's middle name. And also, technically, according to Miyamoto, the Mario brothers are mononymous. They don't have last name because, if we all know in the Bob Hoskins film Super Mario Bros., the infamous line is like, "What's your first name? Mario. What's your last name? Mario." And they're like, "Hold up, what?" And it's like Mario, Luigi, Mario. Technically, there's no such thing as a last name for Mario, but the internet has made the joke of Mario, Jumpman Mario, as him being the air quotes, the big air quotes here, his official name. But
I love that.
According to true Nintendo from the creator himself, Shigeru Miyamoto-san, it is just Mario and it is just Luigi. No last names.
Wow. This is so cool. Like this whole quiz in general, because so we talked at the top about how Mario is such a huge icon in the world, just an iconic figure. And you're talking about how the internet has now adopted this name for him, Mario, Jumpman Mario, based on all these different, cultural things. But it's just really inspiring because a character like this gets created and then it basically becomes the world, like Mario belongs to everybody. And the fact that the internet can have these conversations and come up with these fun nicknames that are based on things that actually happen. But I don't know. It's really cool to hear that. It's really cool to hear that community, Ben, dude, you knocked it out of the park, man. We ended up tying 3 out of 5, 2 out of 5, I think is what we ended up going. 3 out of 5. We did go.
3 out of 5.
5 out of 5. Yeah. We all got it. We both aced the quiz. Ben, by the way, so we follow each other on Twitter and stuff. Ben's got, I'll let you plug everything to make sure that we get it correctly. I know you have 2 podcasts that you're a part of, and also recently posted a picture of you in your first published magazine, right? There it is. Fusion. And so go tell people where they can find you, what you're known for. You can talk about Fusion.
Oh man, there's a list now. So I am a co-host of the Fake Nerd Podcast, which is a weekly nerd podcast where we talk about nerd stuff. We're reviewing stuff. Our next episode, well, as of this recording, it might be already up when this goes up. We're reviewing The Northman, and also Basement Arcade Pause Menu, which is my video game centric podcast. And since the last time we recorded, Pause Menu is the recipient of an award. So I am now officially an award-winning podcast. I won a Snobby Award for Best Interview Show with my interview with Howard Scott Warshaw, which is the creator of the Atari 2600 game E.T. So I can now officially say I'm an award-winning podcaster. So,
That's awesome.
Thank you for that, Kevin. So there's that, and also I write for Old School Gamer magazine, both the physical magazine and the website. I write for GoNintendo.com, and my first published article ever is in Fusion Gaming Magazine, issue number 31, which you can find at Fusion Retro Books. They're based out of England, so if you do decide to order the magazine,
there it is.
Just be warned, it's going to take a while to get here. But they also put my name on the cover. There it is. And of course, my first ever main published article is about Super Mario Bros.
It's a 2-page panel of it looks like Mario 1. It's lots of colors. That looks awesome. I remember seeing the picture and reading what you wrote. It was just so cool to see your name. I was like, Ben Magnet, I know him. And it looks so good in a gamer magazine. That name looks so good in a gamer magazine. That's so awesome.
Yeah. Technically, it's a 4-page spread.
4-page spread. Nice, because you turn it again and then there's another 2-page.
Yep.
That's fantastic.
2 pages, but of course, that's the big one because, that's the big colors, the draw. It's like how and it's about how Mario perfected platforming because let's be real, over 35 years, Super Mario Bros. Has perfected the platforming genre, and so many other games have taken elements from Super Mario Bros., whether they want to admit it or not, but that's what happened. So,
yeah, it is. The award-winning Ben Magnet, we've been honored to have you. And on Twitter and socials, you're just at Ben Magnet, correct?
Yes. Ben Magnet 27 on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Ben Magnet 27, twitch.tv/Ben Magnet 27. I'm there as well, streaming Elden Ring Tuesdays and Saturday mornings at 2 a.m. Pacific because that's the only time I can play because that's when I get off of work. I know, America. I know.
Dude, we really loved having you, man. You knocked it out of the park again. Librarian of Pixels, it's been an honor. We'll let you go. We'll be back next week, and everyone have a good day wherever you happen to be in the world right now.
Until next time, my pixelated friends.
It's the Lack of Genius podcast in your ear holes at last. They don't know they're Mars from Venus, that's why it's the Lack of Genius podcast.
Let's go.